You're watching CanadianProfighter.com. We're here with Bjorn Rebney, the CEO of Bellator. After another successful event in Boston, amazing show, amazing venue. Can you tell us a little bit about where you're planning for your next venue?
Next week, next Thursday, Monroe, Louisiana. Hector Lombard, Paulo Filo, Patricio Pitbull versus Wilson Hayes in what should just be a freak in nature ground war.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Warren versus Georgie Karkanian, which, you know, if Georgie can keep the fight standing, could be an amazing fight. And I don't know what'll happen if it goes to the ground, but I mean, you know, just another three great fights back to back to back. I mean, if the right Paulo Filo shows up, Paulo Filo, Hector Lombard, you got two of the best 185-pounders in the world.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
So I mean, I'm as excited about next week's card as I was about this one.
So can you tell me how you guys keep putting on great card after great card week after week? I mean, the UFC, they've been around forever, and they can only do it seems like once a month or twice a month. You guys are doing it every week.
You know, I mean, I think the tournament format, I believe it now. I mean, you know, like if you'd asked me this a year ago, I would have said, I don't know, maybe we're getting lucky. But I think the tournament format where you got so much on the line, and ultimately every single fight matters. One guy's going to move on and one guy's going to go home. You saw it tonight with Pat Curran and Roger Huerta.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat Curran is moving on, and in a month he's going to fight, you know, against Toby Amata to get a shot at Eddie Alvarez, and Roger's done for the season, and we'll schedule it when we schedule it. I just think there's so much on the line that it's elevating. I mean, Kerry Veneer's performance, Toby Amata's a freak.
Oh, he's amazing.
But Kerry's performance was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, if you watch that fight, you got to slow it down to see everything technically that was going on the ground. So I just think there's so much at play, and there's so much to go grab and out there that guys' performance are just going up. And I mean, that, you know, that's where my head is right now in terms of how I think we keep getting these great performances. Eddie was just a freak. I mean, yeah. Josh Neer can fight.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, Josh Neer's, this is not some guy who we brought in as a paper guy for Eddie to roll over.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
Josh Neer's got the goods. And Eddie's performance standing on the ground, I mean, the way he finished, it was just...
And Josh is almost impossible to finish. We've seen that time after time again.
In the UFC. I mean, yep. Nate couldn't finish him.
No.
And this was 2 years ago, Nate, when Nate was finishing everybody. Yeah. So I just, you know, I mean, I don't know. I think we're just... Guys are bringing it to another level.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're right with the tournament. They got to just show their heart. They got to come out with everything they got every time, because it's not... Every fight matters. It's not like the next one you can get it back.
Yeah.
You lose the tournament, you're out, like you're said.
Done. Yeah.
So what's going on with next year's tournament? I mean, you guys had the lightweight, the welterweight, the middleweight.
Sure.
So in the featherweight, what's next?
August 12th. August 12th we'll kick off bantamweights, and like I said, I mean, it's no secret at this point. We've been working hard on heavyweights, and we've been working hard on a women's division at 115. So, and we've got some spectacularly talented fighters signed, some great, you know, people I'm really looking forward to seeing on national television. So, you know, August 12th, it'll kick off season number 3, and it'll have for sure the bantamweights and very highly likely the heavyweights and women as well.
Awesome. So, obviously, a question my Canadian fans are going to wonder: is there some more Canadians in the next tournament, or?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
With our partners up at the Score from a television perspective, absolutely. We'll be bringing some great Canadian fighters in. You know, Pearson hurt his hamstring this year, and that kind of, you know, that would have been a great fight. Sure. Him coming back and performing at the best level, I would have loved to have seen the Hornbuckle fight. You know, Will never got it going and rocking and rolling against Patricio, but Patricio may be the dark horse in our 45 tournament.
Oh, he's amazing.
You know, so you know, we'll see. I mean, it's a we've always got our eye on Canadian talent because you're just north of the border. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, I definitely have a few fighters I could see kicking some ass in the tournaments next year.
Cool.
So
I'd love to see them.
I'll have to maybe get some lists for you together.
Yeah, no, give me an email and give me some names out. That's how we got. I mean, that's how we got Patricio Pitbull.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine in Southern California sent me an email, and he said, "You got to check this guy out."
Yeah.
I mean, and Pitbull. I mean, we'll see what happens against Wilson because that's going to be a crazy fight. But he's a hugely talented fighter. He goes, I got this Brazilian kid. He's 13 wins, no losses, and he's just hugely talented on his feet. Because, you know, typically you hear about a guy from Brazil and you think, okay, well, he's going to be a jiu-jitsu ace, but, you know, what does he have stand-up-wise? But this guy, I mean, he's knocking people out, flying knees and the whole thing. So, you know, man, email it over. I'll look in a heartbeat.
Well, nice. Like Pitbull, we're excited for him. We're just like, I don't know, like Pat Curran, I talked to him before the fight, and I told him, you know, you knocked out our Canadian boy, but I mean, we picked you up, and you're the one we're cheering for.
Yeah.
And he ended up pulling it out tonight. He was I think he was a little nervous about it, but he said as long as I pulled out a good fight, and he did more than a good fight. It was amazing.
That was a great technical performance. It kind of reminiscent, a different way that he won it, but kind of reminiscent of what I saw out of Joe Soto when he fought Wilson Hayes. Just technically, Pat knew exactly what he needed to do, and he stuck with it, and he didn't get caught up in any kind of emotion in the fight. He just stuck with the game plan, and great performance. Great performance.
Oh, for sure. You could see there's a couple times he got in trouble, and he got right through it.
Yeah.
Stayed with it, stayed calm, and did what he needed to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, very, very impressive. I'm from Chicago, so I knew Pat was good, but man, he's even showed me another level of the performance. I mean, the Ricci fight, we actually thought, Ricci from that division was a guy who, we'd heard everything you guys had heard.
Exactly.
He's the next GSP, he's the big thing out of Canada, and Pat rolled right through Mike. But then you think, well, he threw a great right hand. Let's see what happens next. Then he fights Roger Huerta and wins a decision.
Win all 3 rounds. That can't be a lucky shot at all,
No,
right?
it's not a lucky shot. Pat Kern's a real deal.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he was telling me he fought at 145 before and put on the muscle to fight in 155.
Yeah, this
so
is not a guy dropping from 70 to make lightweight. This is a legitimate 45-pounder who's been training with Jeff, who came up to 55 to get into this thing.
So let's say he wins the tournament, beats Eddie. Would you give him a shot at the 145 too? Maybe go both?
I don't know. That's a very interesting question. If you dominate that level, I mean, in my mind, Eddie Alvarez is the best lightweight in the world.
So me too. If you check our rankings, he's number 1.
Yeah, so. I mean, if Pat were to win this thing and beat Eddie, I don't know. What do you? I mean, how much I'd rather see him move up to 70, to tell you the truth, because at 45, everybody be looking at it going, well, he just beat the best 55-pounder. So I don't know. It's just he's right now he's riding a wave. That Toby fight is going to be a very, very interesting fight, and let's see what happens. Toby's strong as can be as well. So. Oh yeah,
Toby again. He was one of the people I love. He's a great fighter. I mean, that submission last year is just how do you do that? Yeah. That's just amazing. So I personally, my 2 favorite fighters are in the lightweights final, so I love it. I'm excited for it, and I think it'll be a great fight. The matchup will be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting final to watch. It could go any number of directions, so I don't know. Interesting. It'll be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thanks a lot, Bjorn. I know you're a busy man. We'll let you get going, and it's great seeing you.